Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here on Sip, Spark, and Share with your favorite host. I'm Sarai.
And I'm Alexandra.
And today we're going to be talking about trust issues. You know what I mean, because you got them too. So let's get right into it.
All right.
What is trust issues? Let's talk about that.
Oh, trust issues.
Yes.
I think that trust issues is the doubt that someone can be loyal and truthful and honest. And I think that it all comes from just having a fear of betrayal.
I agree. Trust issues, it's something that you either can be too trusting or not trusting at all.
Exactly.
And it all depends on your situation and what happened to you that got you in there in the first place.
Absolutely. So let me ask you something. Do you believe that you have trust issues?
I believe that I had trust issues, but I definitely did work on it, and I don't currently have trust issues, but it's because I trust myself now. I think that trust issues has everything to do with you and you trusting yourself than other people.
It's like a projection, I guess.
Yes.
Well, I have trust issues.
Okay.
But I don't have the trust issues that I think a lot of people believe are trust issues.
Okay.
So I am an overly trusting person. I overly trust, and I trust way too much.
Okay.
So a lot of people don't really think of that as being a trust issue.
They think of the opposite as if you don't trust
if you don't
at all.
trust at all. Yeah, absolutely.
I could see that. I was the opposite of you before, where it was I didn't trust anybody, and it's kind of like you were guilty until proven innocent kind of situation. Like I didn't trust you at all, and you had to prove to me by showing me that you would be a trustworthy person. And then I would open up to you, but not even fully. I was still always thinking like, at some time, some point, you're going to do something that's going to hurt me.
Absolutely. So what do you think are some of the signs of trust issues?
I mean, a few signs that I wrote some down is persistent jealousy. That's definitely a sign. Self-doubt. Being constantly suspicious of somebody. Like I seen people go down the rabbit hole where they're constantly looking at other people's phones, doing social media, detective work,
FBI.
Stalking, like all of that is definitely a sign. And then there's the ongoing false accusation where I'm saying, oh, you did this to me, even without proof. The person is just accusing you of doing something that you've never even done just because of how they feel. So that's a sign. What about you? What signs?
I think it's the overly trusting, like I said, the overthinker, the not trusting at all.
Yeah.
And then that makes you avoid intimacy. That makes you avoid commitment.
Yes.
Yeah, trusting has a lot of layers.
Yeah, there's a few more that you mentioned. There's the avoidant behavior.
Oh yeah.
I was one of those where I would avoid to not get hurt.
Yeah.
Like I was not even trying to put myself in that situation, so I would avoid, retreat. The minute I even had that inkling or feeling that something was not right.
And that, you know what? I'm going to cut you off because now that you're saying that, I avoid as well, but I avoid the obvious mistrust that the person can be doing something and can be showing me who they are and showing me their actions, but I am avoiding that behavior because I don't want to get hurt.
So you avoid the sign that's being presented.
Yes.
You're avoiding them showing you, I'm not a trustworthy person, and you're still like, nope, I don't see that. I'm going to continue just so I don't get hurt.
Absolutely.
Because if I see it, it's going to hurt me.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then there's the needy behavior.
Yeah.
This one is one that I think is a common one where the person is super needy and needs to be attached and needs to be around you all the time just to be able to check your every single move. Like that is not healthy at all.
That's kind of like the reassurance. I think that people they say that they take it to the what's your love language, and they say I like to be reassured and I like those positive, those love bombing stuff. But it's because you don't trust. You need to be reassured because you lack the trust of it.
Yes, that is so true.
So it's a slippery slope.
It can be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And these are just, like I said, these are a few. Then there's the emotionally sensitive or reactive person.
Okay.
Where they're super sensitive to whatever it is that's going on or what you're saying.
Me.
Or they're being reactive to anything that you say, looking to pick a fight because they don't trust you. So those are just a few. And then another one that caught my attention, and this one I can actually see it being a problem, but I didn't see it back then. It's people that like to smother you.
Yeah.
What does that mean? It's when a person smothers you and wants to be around you so much because they care about you.
Yeah.
But it's because of the fear that you might let them go.
The fear of abandonment.
So that they will bend over backwards for you. They always are around. They never want to let you go. But it's because they feel like you might leave them, so they have to attach. Yeah. So it's like this attachment issue comes in there.
Yeah.
The clinginess, which is not healthy. So if you hit any one of those signs,
or all of them,
just know that there is an option or there is help for you out there. You don't have to live with trust issues.
No.
Like that's something that nobody should be living with in this day and age when there's so much resources out there that can help you, start building that trust again.
Because also when you have trust issues, that leads to other problems. That leads to anxiety.
Oh my God,
Can you imagine just the constant trust, like the constant overthinking in your head that gives you anxiety, that can bring depression if it gets even worse.
And it makes you a little psychotic because you're over here constantly assuming and thinking that somebody is about to do something when their intention is not even close to that.
Waiting for the ball to
drop or obsessing and being on the phone and checking, well, this person logged in at this time and they haven't hit me up. So now that must mean X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
That is freaking crazy. Like I would never be able to live like that. Like I think I'm getting anxiety just thinking about it. How I know there's certain people that constantly need to know your every single move. And it was like, yo, chill out.
You know what? A new thing that people are doing now is if you're in relationships or stuff like that, is the location.
Oh my God.
So you need to share location with that person.
I'm not about that.
Like, and then they try to disguise it with, oh no,
I just wanted to make sure that you're okay, and then nobody was gonna come and hurt you. Like before you came into my life, who was doing that? This is something we really got to talk about when people try to normalize.
They normalize.
Trust
That's the
issues.
word. That's the word, yeah.
And that's something that's extremely scary. Just know that this person, whoever suffers from trust issues, if it doesn't get fixed, they can become a manipulator. They can become a person that's trying to control your every move. And that is not healthy. It is not good. Everybody is their own individual person. There's a difference from I am worried about you, but I'm going to give you space because if you, the person who should be worried about yourself, don't care or you're acting a certain way, the other person should not be trying to govern you and how you move and you run things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with that being said, can you remember the first time someone broke your trust?
Oh, yeah.
And how did it make you feel?
Oh, yeah. The first time somebody broke my trust was my dad. I got daddy issues. Okay. And it made me feel horrible. When he left, it just gave me straight okay. So it didn't give me at first because I was a child. It didn't give me daddy issues or every man is going to leave my life. No, that's as I got older. But when he first left, I was such a daddy's girl and we were such a close family that the way that he left was just so shocking that it broke my heart because I was so close to my dad. So that's what led to all of my other trust issues in life.
Okay, so it was that one, which I can see being such a big one, right? Because having a father figure in someone's life is very important. So then here he is, he just walks walks away.
Yeah.
The way that it happened.
It was the way that it happened, yeah. Because it was a lot of turmoil in my house, but it was the sneaking of the taking the clothes. I would hear grown-up conversations. I was
that you
younger.
Weren't supposed
so
to,
I'm hearing grown-up conversations of, he's taking clothes in a shopping bag and da-da-da. And then it was one day, there was a big blow up. Oh, I'm leaving.
Okay.
And then he left, and then he never came back.
He left. He didn't say goodbye.
He didn't say
announce
bye.
he's leaving.
Well, he said, "Oh, I'm leaving."
Okay, he did say I'm leaving.
But he always used to say, "I'm leaving."
Yeah, so you thought,
but he would always come back.
But did you think when he walked out that very last day that he was ever coming back? Or
no, it hit when he said it. It was a big blow up, and then it hit, and he said, "I'm leaving."
Mm-hmm.
And then, yes, we wanted him to leave.
Yeah.
Because of the explosiveness. Mm-hmm. But I knew that night was the last night.
Okay, so you knew.
But what I didn't know is that I would never see him again.
Okay.
Or that I would beg to see him again.
Yeah.
Or that he would refuse to see me and my brother. That I didn't know.
Yeah.
That's where the trust issues, I think that's where it came from.
Okay.
The refusal of seeing us and all of that.
Okay, so now with that happening, him leaving, you knowing, you going through the motions of feeling hurt, my dad's not coming back. I could only imagine all the things that you thought, to yourself about. So then that, which was the first time, that started leading to you over trusting now people, or did the over trusting happen later
when I
on?
got, so then what it did was I started not trusting nobody after that.
Okay.
It was complete like, okay, so now daddy left and I was when I tell you I was a daddy's girl, I was a daddy's girl.
Yeah.
And then, and I was spoiled. So he left when I was 8 years old, to give you a little bit more context.
Yeah.
So I'm an 8-year-old girl. I was spoiled by my father, spoiled rotten, like you remember. And then it was, I started just not trusting anybody.
Yeah.
I was like, no, they're just going to leave, blah, blah, blah. And then when I got into high school, I started to now block, like I didn't want to feel that pain anymore. So I started overly trusting people, saying, no, they're never going to leave me. They're never going to leave me. And I would even say it verbally, like, oh, you're never going to go. Oh, no, we're stuck for life.
Oh, we're going to be friends forever.
We're going to be friends forever, because I would believe that if I would constantly say it to you and I would smother you and I will just love you so much and I will be so clingy how could you leave me?
Yeah.
You understand? So then that's where the overly trusting and all of that came in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. What about you?
For me, it was my first, and I would call it like a heartbreak, to be honest. I was I can't recall the exact age, but I know I was young. I would say maybe no more than 10, 12 years old, around there. And believe it or not, it was when my sister decided to leave to go back to live back home, back in the Dominican Republic. And when this happened, when I tell you that I only found out about this maybe 2 years ago, because what happened was we used to live back home in the Dominican Republic, and we decided to come and move over here. So we were always traveling back and forth from New York to DR. That was our thing. So in the last one, when we decided to permanently stay in New York, my sister did not want to stay in New York. She wanted to go back in DR because she already had her friends. She had everything back home. So when we all came here and she decided that she wanted to go back, I felt like, and I'm young and I'm just like, I can't believe, like I was just in shock, and I was like, I can't believe you want to leave.
Yeah.
Like you want to leave your family.
Yeah.
That's all I kept thinking, like, how dare you? In my mind, I'm like, how dare you want to leave your family behind? So
your family or you?
I was thinking family, because I'm thinking whenever we left back and forth, we always left as a family.
Okay, yeah.
So now we come here as a family, and you, because you want to be with your friends, you're choosing to leave, and that broke my heart.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I couldn't believe why somebody would want to leave. Right? And then I'm thinking, you're leaving, and you're leaving me with my mother. And at that time, my mother wasn't like, in the best mental state there is. So I'm just like, okay, who am I being left with, when my sister did play a role kind of mom, because my mother because she was the oldest, would always say, wherever you go, you got to take your sister.
Yeah.
And she would always put me, for her to do everything with me. So I get why she would want to kind of leave me, because it's like annoying that she has to kind of do these motherly things when she's just a child, just like me. We're only 5 years apart. But anyways, to make the long story short, she ended up leaving. And when I tell you that when she left, I told myself, like I said it, I was like, I never want to depend on anybody. Like it was something that I didn't say it out loud. It was just something that I thought of. So she didn't last long. She maybe lasted a year that she was gone. And when she came back, I remember I wanted to show her how much like I got it and I didn't need you.
Okay.
It was something that I did unconsciously where I wanted to like prove myself to her, like, I don't need you anymore. Like, you're back, but I don't need you.
Well, would you call her or anything like that while she was out there or no?
No, but she would call and we would talk and I would talk.
And you would be normal.
Everything was normal, but it was like something that happened inside of me and I wasn't even conscious about it. But I always felt like I had to prove that I didn't need anybody. But it came because of that one issue that gave me abandonment. And I was like, that feeling, I never wanted to get close to anybody because I didn't want to have to feel what it is to be hurt and to be left.
You didn't want to feel that again.
I didn't want to feel that again. So what did I do? I built up a wall. And this wall followed me like throughout my entire life where I was very independent. I made sure that I didn't depend on anybody or needed anybody for anything. And I mastered that to the T. When I tell you, like, that helped me to get through in life. But then at the same time, because I never allowed myself to be vulnerable, I feel like I missed out on so much. So then fast forward to 2 years ago, where I finally discover why I've always had this wall up. And it was nothing, it was only due to that fact.
That's crazy.
So it took that one event of somebody so close to me that I loved and treasured and that I still love and treasure. But I always think like, she might leave. And it's like I had to get through that it's okay if people leave. Like, you have to be able to be okay with it. That's part of life. Nobody is attached to you.
Nothing is forever.
And nothing is forever. And that's something that I think we have to have clear. Like, and I'm glad that I was able to figure out and pinpoint what brought me to this because now I am able to still be close to people, be vulnerable, put my walls down. And if something happens, I'm actually okay with it because I'm no longer afraid of being hurt. I think that I allowed myself to get so hurt when I finally opened up to be vulnerable that I'm like, anything that comes, bring it on because we're going to get through it. And I feel like if people had that mentality more and not that fear, they'll be able to get through it.
Yeah, I agree.
But that, when I tell you, that broke me, and I
can imagine,
but it broke me, and I didn't even know. Can you believe that? Like, I had no idea my whole life.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't
find out till 2 years ago. And then, of course,
you guys are so close.
And no, the thing is that even though I had that wall up, me and my sister are still close. Like, I'll go to her and she'll come to me and we talk, and like, there's no bad blood or nothing, but it's just that I know that you can leave. So that's why I had to put up my wall so I don't get attached. So I became a detached person. Which is another issue. It's another issue, but we got to talk through it and just try to figure out why you are the way that you are. I think if we figure that out, we can get through a lot more things.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, that was my first.
That was your first trauma.
And hopefully my last.
Hopefully.
So what's the craziest thing you've done when you didn't trust someone?
The craziest thing that I've ever done is I had a boyfriend.
Okay.
And I followed this person. I didn't follow them. Like, I wasn't behind them, like, looking. But I went to another country.
Okay.
Because that individual was in that country.
And what were your thoughts when you were going to that country? What were your plans? Like,
I had a whole plan.
Walk me through your thoughts.
Yeah, I had a whole plan. So this person was doing like a boys trip type of thing.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, cool. And then I didn't have a problem with it because, like I said, I'm over trusting. So I was like, yeah, you're going to have a boys trip, have fun, bring me a souvenir. And I think like a couple of days was passing or whatever. And it was like, it wasn't like he wasn't picking up the phone calls. Like, he would pick it up, but not all of them. It was a reason why there couldn't be a FaceTime call. It was just a lot of suspicious behavior.
Okay.
In my to me.
Okay.
Mind you, I'm not the type of person that is like a super overly jealous person. So because I believe you. You telling me that you're gonna do this and that you're not doing nothing, I'm believing you.
Okay.
I have full faith in you blindly. But something in here was like,
your intuition was speaking.
Something was it. So then what I did was, I didn't have no kids or nothing back then. So I booked a flight on JetBlue, and I just showed up. And then I called when I was in the airport, and I was like, "Hi, I'm here." And they were like, "What? You where?" And I was like, "I'm in the airport. Come and get me." And then they came and got me.
And what happened? Did you find your suspicion to be right?
No, because obviously I'm there. Nothing is going down while I'm there.
Okay, so then you went to go stop what you thought was going to happen.
No, I went because I went to go see what was happening. I went to see if you're staying at the place that you say that you're staying at, if you're hanging out with the people that you're hanging out with.
But that's what I'm saying. So when you went to go check those facts, right, because they're facts, were the facts true or false?
Well, I didn't find nothing.
So then I'm confused. So what was the point of going?
Because I thought I was going to catch something. I thought I was going to find something.
Okay, so then the answer is the facts were true. He was doing what he said he was going to do. Because if not, you would have found something.
Yeah, or maybe he was just really good at it. I don't know. All I know is that I went over there.
I cannot believe you paid for a flight.
I did.
To go all the way out there.
I did.
To find nothing. And you can't
I found nothing.
That is hilarious.
Nothing. I found nothing. Saki, what's your crazy story? What's the craziest thing you've ever done?
Okay, so this goes back to my childhood.
Okay.
So I had a little friend back home, back in the Dominican Republic. We were going to school together. And because I always, like I said, we were always traveling every summer here to New York. And every summer that I would come to New York, I would go back. And once we started school, I would have new school supplies. Okay. Nice, beautiful school supplies from New York. You know how the people out in DR are. They want to see, they want whatever. So this year I come back and I'm telling my friend about all the cool supplies that I got and everything that my mom bought me. I was super happy. So I guess this friend of mine got jealous, right? And she wanted to have my school supplies.
All of them?
She wanted all of them. So what happened was I overheard her in a conversation with another friend of mine saying that when I would go on lunch break and when we would have lunch break in the yard, we would go outside to play, that they should go back into the room, go in my book bag and take my supplies.
Oh, no.
Well, she doesn't know that I overheard the whole thing. Oh, no. So when I overheard all of this, I was like, oh, don't worry, I got you. So what did I do? I pretended to go to lunch break, right? And I waited 5 minutes outside. I waited and I saw that they all went back inside. I gave them a little time. Then as I proceeded to walk in to catch them all red-handed, right? They were doing exactly what they said that they were going to do. So what happened? We got into this huge fist fight.
Oh, my God.
Over school supplies. And it's funny, though, because after we got into this fight and she slapped me, I slapped her, and I told her off, like I knew, I'm not dumb, whatever. When it was time to go back home, we both ended up walking back home together. She apologized.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, okay, I take your apology. But I never trusted her after that.
Well, as you shouldn't.
So the craziest thing I've ever done is catch somebody in their own freaking lies.
Oh,
That's the craziest
God.
thing I've ever done. Like, I'm the type of person that if you tell me that you're going to do something and I believe that what you're telling me is not true, I will go out of my way to prove to you and catch you in your own lie. Like, that's the type of person that I am. Like, so don't tell me anything that you think I'm just going to bypass, because I will catch you and I will prove it to you and you won't be able to say anything to me.
Oh, boy.
That's the type of crazy that I can be. So, yes, that's something I think that's one of the craziest, though. I was really young, though. I wouldn't do that now.
Yours is so much.
Now I'm just like, if I believe you, whatever, just keep going.
Oh.
Yeah.
I seem so crazy.
No, you're not crazy. You're not crazy at all. But you see, you went all the way out there. I was expecting for you to catch him red-handed.
No, I didn't catch nothing.
With evidence and everything.
I didn't catch nothing.
It's okay. Next time you need just more evidence. Evidence is key.
Yeah, even with the evidence, like, okay.
All right, so moving on. So what's your go-to move when you start doubting someone's honesty? What do you normally do? Like somebody already was telling you something, you're already like not believing it. What do you usually do with that?
So I confront them, even though I am, an overly trusting person. I do confront them. I'll tell them like, "Oh, I don't believe that," or I'll say like, "Oh no, look, this, and this." Like I'll confront you.
So you'll be confrontational.
I'm confrontational.
Okay.
Now, will I do anything about it? That's the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, sometimes I'm just all talk.
Gotcha.
So
I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
If I begin to feel like something's not right, like I said, I need evidence. I will not say anything. I will take your word for it. I will keep my eye open. I will watch your every move to see what you're doing. And if there's a little bit of evidence there that shows me that, then with that, I will then present it to you so that when you tell me whatever it is, I'm going to give you two options. Either you fess up and you tell me the truth, or I bring the evidence to you, and then I'll still wait to see if you're going to tell me the truth or if you're still going to deny it. So I don't like to speak or say anything until I am 100% or at least 50% sure that it is, because I know that sometimes our feelings could be wrong.
Yeah.
And that has also happened. So I rather just know for sure before I say anything.
I wish I can be like that, but I'm too impulsive.
Yeah.
Like I can't, like if I suspect something and you're already like moving a little different, like I'll try. I would try to not tell you something, but by the end of the day, I'm going to be like, listen, this, like I can't hold it.
Yeah, but then that's one thing where we defer is like, I don't, to me, and this is just a personal thing with me, I don't see the point of me telling you all of this to still stick around for what you're doing. Because to me, it's like, then what was the point?
What was the point?
I'd rather not and face it when I really have to face it if I'm not ready. But that comes with me trusting myself and trusting that whether or not you tell me it's true or not, I'll be okay to walk away.
Yeah.
But that comes with my own trust. Like I have to trust myself before I can even trust you.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's where my issue would lie.
Yeah.
That
I need to trust yourself.
Yeah, I need to trust myself. And not only that, I think that I try to soften the blow. So by me keep on like, let's just take for instance, like like something, if you're my partner, whatever, and you're cheating and I'm already seeing, I don't know, something small, like you used to always have your phone face up and now all of a sudden you're having your phone face down, right? That can be like a little red flag, something small like that. But I will take that, and then to soften the blow, I will sit there and I'll be like, oh, why is your phone is always, and then I'll just keep mentioning it. I won't do nothing about it, but I'll just keep mentioning it because in my mind, I'm preparing myself to be let down, but I won't allow myself to I will avoid it at all costs.
Yeah, but then
I'm stalling.
You're also pushing the other person away. Like I feel like there's nothing worse than a person being accused of something that you don't have.
And that you're not even doing. Let's say you're not doing it.
Or even if they are, but you're not like, how can I say it? Like the more you tell somebody something doesn't mean they're going to change.
Yeah.
Like you mentioning the phone and all of that, the person's not going to change because you're saying that.
You're just kind of like preparing them. Okay, so now I got to leave it open or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really, it's
not a healthy method. It's better for
and
you
it's not a good one either.
Yeah, no.
Okay, how do you believe that trust issues affect you in your daily life?
It affects you because when you have trust issues, you make really poor decisions sometimes.
Yep.
You really do. It just, it overflows. Like even, let's just say with work. Like if you're constantly doing everything yourself, which is another sign, some people that have trust issues love doing everything themselves because they can't trust that the other person can complete a task.
Yeah.
Then you start trying to become a perfectionist. And that leads to being burnt out. Like realistically speaking, nobody can do everything on their own. And that's something that happened with me. Like I became the person, I didn't want to depend on absolutely nobody. So I would make sure to do everything myself. But it came to a point where I was like, I just can't do it anymore. I'm tired.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's no reason for you to have to do it, yourself. There has to be some type of trust.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that it affects, when I think about myself, I agree with the decision making that you're saying. I make a lot of poor decisions because I overly trust people. But I also believe it leads to a lot of mental health issues, in the sense of it gives you a lot of anxiety, like I was saying earlier. Yeah. You're always anxious. You're always feel like you're walking on eggshells. You're always overthinking something. You're always defensive. You're always on edge. Yeah. You're always it makes you, it can lead to depression.
Yes, it can.
It makes you so uncomfortable, and you're not. And in the long run, it can even make you miserable because you're not even happy.
You're not.
So you're just double and triple thinking.
You're exhausting yourself for no reason, because there's no good happy ending, because you already know what could happen. Yeah. And if you stay, there's no happy ending because you already know the mess that you're in. Yeah. So it's like, either way, it's a lose-lose situation when you become to make poor decisions and let trust overtake you. Yeah. And that's why I keep repeating, before you can trust others, you need to learn to trust yourself, so that you can build confidence, and also in knowing your own instincts and know when something's right or wrong.
Yeah, I agree. So, do you believe that society or social media plays a factor in the trusting traumas that people have out there?
I mean, I feel like if you have trust issues, anything can play. Yeah. Anything. It doesn't matter if it's social media. It could be a comment from a friend. It could be just something that you saw on TV. You are susceptible to believing everything that's around you because you don't trust yourself. So I never blame social media. I think social media just enhances what you already have.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. I think that it enhances whatever problem, whatever trauma, it just triggers it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely
absolutely.
does. What's one thing that makes you lose trust in a person? What does somebody have to do for you to be like, you know what? I no longer trust you.
Okay, so my answer is going to be a little different than I think what people would expect it to be. When somebody does something to me, right, there's a betrayal or anything like that, I lose trust in you right away. Yeah. Like, I already have lost trust in you. I won't do anything about it, and I won't make a move or anything like that. I believe that in order for me to sit there and openly admit and remove myself from the situation, I think that you need to cut me so deep that there is no turning back. Like it needs to cut to the bone. Okay. In order for me to react. Okay. I feel like I'm just so numb, and I've just been numbing myself. I kind of put a Band-Aid over it. So the me not trusting people wasn't working out. So what I did was I said, okay, I'm going to overly trust somebody. You tell me you're going to go to work. I'm going to believe you're going to work. You tell me you're doing this. I'm believing that you're doing this. Anything that you tell me, I'm going to believe you. I'm going to wholeheartedly put my faith, just completely not even question you. Yeah. And then when I get betrayed, I feel like the betrayal needs to be just a huge betrayal.
And what would be a huge betrayal for you?
So, a huge betrayal for me was when I was with the father of my children. And there was trust issues there. Okay. I had trust issues. But the last straw that made me leave was the cheating while I was pregnant. Okay. That was the ultimate cut that there was no turning back. Okay. I feel like you need to hurt me and betray me so bad that I cannot physically, even if in my brain I can try to fix it and try to oh no, it's okay, da da da. No. I need to physically be sick in order for me to move on. I feel like my trust issues are just so deep they're so deep because I ignored them for so many years. And then I tried one method and it didn't work. So I went to the other method.
You went from one extreme to the other.
I went from, yeah. And then this extreme that I'm in, because I still currently am an overly trusting person.
Okay.
Because I just refuse
to accept
it. I just refuse to accept it. And it's something that I believe that I need to go to a therapist. I believe that I do need to, because it is now like it's affecting not only me, but now it's affecting my children in a way that my decisions now have greater repercussions, because it's not just my life now.
Correct.
So that's what I believe.
Okay.
What about you?
For me, something that somebody can do to make me lose trust is as simple as when your words do not match your actions. To me, that's an immediate sign. You don't need to cut me too deep for me to understand immediately that you're a person who's all talk and no action. Therefore, if you're saying one thing and you're doing another, that means that you are not a trustworthy person. Those are the facts.
Yeah.
Because you should, when you are communicating and when you are speaking, the things that are coming out your mouth has to lead up with actions. And if they don't, that means something's not right there. That means that you're really good with words, but you don't back it up. And it's just that simple and clear. So the minute I see somebody that starts telling me things, but they're showing me another side of them, I'm like, oh, okay. So then this is how you're going to be breaking my trust in this relationship, is that you're going to be telling me you're going to do one thing, but I'm going to find out later that you're doing something else. Yeah. Therefore, I do not need to continue in a relationship that is not going to give me peace, that is going to add anxiety and for me to be worrying about you. So to me, it's that simple. It doesn't have to go deeper than that. And I pay attention to that throughout all of my relationships, my friendships, and everything. Yeah. If you're a person that do not align with what you're saying, I don't need to be parts of it. Go fill those lies to somebody else, but you're not going to drop that here. Yeah. So yeah.
And and you know, going back to what I said, I do see that, like when actions don't when actions don't say the same things as your words, I do see it, but
yeah, you see it, you just ignore it.
I ignore it.
Because if you believe it, then it means that something's wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So then I think that obviously there's a trust issue there, but I think that it's a little bit more deep. It's instead of a trust issue, I would label it that it's more of an abandonment. I think that my abandonment issue overpowers the trust issue.
But abandonment also comes from trust.
From trust, yeah, but I'm saying that it's just overpowering.
Because that's the thing. This is why we're saying it. You shouldn't let this go untreated.
Exactly.
Because if you begin to have trust issues later on, that's going to pour into other aspects of your life, and it's going to get bigger. You're going to make poor decisions. You're going to be so scared of being let down or let go of someone. You're going to attach to the very first thing that comes to you, that's just probably the worst thing that could ever happen. So it's like you're going to go from one person to the next, and this could be in friendships and work. But that issue is going to follow you all the way through. So if you suffered that with your ex, you're going to suffer it with your new partner until you finally break the cycle and fix those trust issues and learn that what you're trusting you, that what you're seeing is true and it's okay. Because it's the second part that gets to you, because you do see it.
Yeah, I see it.
But you feel like if you accept it, you won't be okay. But yet you're not okay to begin with because you're accepting it.
Exactly.
So it's like you're just yo-yoing in this roller coaster ride, and you need to learn when to hop right the fuck off.
Yeah, man.
So I am constantly hopping off that train whenever I need to, because it is not worth staying.
And I'm holding on like
it is not worth it. Get on a new train, girl. New train. All right. So the next question. So now, after discussing, the different types of trust issues that's out there and different ways that people show up with trust, how can we now establish trust? How do you establish that? How do you gain that?
How do I gain trust from another person?
Yes.
I don't lie. You don't lie to them.
Okay.
You're as honest as possible. And I think that what we've been saying this whole thing, your actions, match your words.
Yes, but how do you gain trust from someone? Like, what does somebody have to do to you to show you that they're trustworthy?
Oh, for them to gain my trust, you're saying? They have to. They can't lie to me.
Okay.
Like I can't have no lying, no runarounds and stuff like that. And just be honest with me, even if it hurts. I'm just a true believer that like, tell me something, even if you think that it's gonna hurt my feelings. I feel like you should still tell it to me, because I'd rather you tell me something than, number one, have me looking stupid in these streets. Like, that's what I used to always say. Don't have me looking stupid in these streets. And then not even that, just me finding out. Can you imagine if it's something small, like, oh, Alex, we're doing this recording today, and I don't know, this dress makes you look fat, right? But you don't say it to me, but you go around and telling somebody else or something like that. Like, just, it would hurt me so much, instead of you just being like, hey, listen, that dress doesn't look good on you. Like, for me to trust you, because I am an overly trusting person, doesn't take a lot. But I just think that you just have to just be honest with me.
I agree.
Just be honest.
I feel like in order for you to gain my trust, you just have to be vulnerable. I need to see that you're okay with telling me things that aren't like the best things of you. Like, that to me, you gain my trust right away. When somebody opens up and tells me things that they normally wouldn't tell somebody else, then that lets me know, like, oh, wow, this person is clearly finding something that they are able to pour into me and tell me what their problems are. And I want to reciprocate and do the same. So to me, trust comes with connection. When there's a connection, two people start opening up about their lives, and you genuinely get to feel it and see, like, oh my God, this person's not perfect. They're letting me know what their issues are, what their flaws are. And I'm able to see that it feels like it's real, everything that you're telling me, and then I'm gonna want to do the same. But I think it takes vulnerability in order for you to gain trust.
Yeah. So there you have it, guys. Trust issues. We all have trust issues, but just remember that if you're having any of these issues, you can always seek out a therapist, someone that can help you out. You shouldn't be ashamed if you have trust issues. It's different waves or different levels. Just be open, honest.